The Woman Beneath the Water. This is a story from Thailand. In Thailand, people believe that spirits live in water. Lakes, ponds, wells. Some are sacred, but some are cursed. And they say that if you ever hear a voice calling your name near the water at night, you must never turn around. Kanak had been away from his hometown for years. He grew up in a small village but left for the city to work. Now, for the first time in over a decade, he was back. Not much had changed. The same old houses, the same quiet roads, the same Buddhist temple at the center of the village, and at the edge of town, the dried-up pond. Kanak stopped as he passed by. It's still here. As a child, he was always warned never to go near it. Stay away from that pond at night. There's something inside, the spirit of the water, Fibanam, a spirit that drags people down. Back then, he was terrified of the stories, but now, he just laughed. There's not even any water left. That night, he went to bed without another thought. In the middle of the night, plop, plop, a sound. Kanak's eyes opened. Water? That didn't make sense. There were no rivers, no lakes in this village, except one, the pond. Kanak sat up, listening. Silence. Then, Kanak, a whisper, calling his name. He stepped outside. The village was completely still, but in the distance, the pond was full of water. Just hours ago, it had been dry. Now, it was dark, deep, rippling under the moonlight. Plop, plop. The surface moved. Kanak's breath caught in his throat. Someone was standing in the middle of the water. A young woman. She wore a white dress, her long black hair trailing into the water. Her head was tilted down, her face hidden. Kanak's pulse quickened. Who is that? Then, slowly, she lifted her head. Their eyes met, and Kanak froze. Her face, it wasn't human. Her skin was black and rotting, her mouth stretched too wide, torn open at the corners. Water dripped from her lips, her dead white eyes staring straight at him. Then, her mouth moved. Come with me. Kanak couldn't even scream. The woman took a step forward, but she didn't sink. She walked on the water, coming closer, step by step. Kanak turned and ran. The next morning, he returned to the pond. He had to see. He had to know if it had been real. And when he arrived, the pond was dry, just as it had been before. But something made Kanak's stomach